Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session. My name is Isabel Osorio, and I'm the Internal Communications and DI Coordinator at Radisson Hotel Group. And it's my pleasure to welcome you all today to this exciting session on meetings and events. So the goal for today's unboxing session is to give you some insights into meetings and events department and how is it structured, what does their day-to-day look like, and the different roles within this department. Whether you're already in the hospitality industry or exploring new career opportunities, we hope we inspire and inform you. And just before we start, remember we have a Q&A tab on the right hand side. So please, if you have some questions, just drop them in the chat and we will be able to go through them at the end of the session. So having that covered, I leave the floor to my amazing speakers. We have Anne and Jonathan. So hello both. Can you give us like a brief introduction of who you are, what's your role, your name, and where?
M&E optimization across 4 countries, well, 4 or 5 countries, which include Belgium, the UK, Netherlands, Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. So I've been with the team for about 6 years. Prior to that, I've worked in the events industry for around about 20 years. And before that, a background in kind of chefing and kitchen from where I started out, but predominantly meetings and events across the UK and across Europe over the last 20 years.
Great, thank you. What about you, Anne?
Thank you very much. Yes, my name is Un. I've been with the company for 23 years, so a long time. I've been in the industry for nearly 30 years now. I have worked in basically anything from service, so restaurants, F&B. I've done loads of various roles within the hospitality industry, and now I lead the Northern Europe team in Sweden for M&E. So I'm in Sweden, in the Nordics. I'm in Sweden, Norway, and Denmark at the moment.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, both. And just to start off with a bit of context for those that haven't worked in M&E or are maybe seeking to work in the future for M&E, can you give us a bit of context on the structure of meetings and events, including the different areas, the different roles you have in there, and like how this function differs from similar roles at other industries?
Absolutely, Isabella. So Radisson, we're quite unique in terms of the way we work for meetings and events. We have what we call our M&E club, as well as our club of revenue, our club of sales, and our club of voice and email as well. In the club of M&E, we have 11 M&E clubs across mine, UN's, and Central Europe regions. So we centralize a lot of our inquiry handling. So in terms of meetings and events inquiries, when they come in, they're centralized in one place across the 11 clubs. We work in the same way across the whole 11 clubs, using the same systems, the same processes, and same standards. So what you see in one club is exactly the same as what you see in one of UN's clubs for my clubs. We have approximately about 60 hotels in the 11 clubs. And roughly from my side, from my 4 or 5 clubs, we have about 75 employees in the 4 clubs. And then across the whole area, in terms of the 11 clubs, about 150 employees dealing with inquiry handling. On the other side of the role, we've also got our M&E planners, which deal with the final details. So anything, once the booking is confirmed, anything from a rooming list, from dietary requirements, and final details. We have a team based on site at each hotel that look after these details and deal with the guest all the way through to their event and the execution of their event. We have quite a lot of opportunities and different roles in each club. We've structured it as so there's a lot of development opportunities and a lot of progression within their existing club or across the other areas. So it's quite a vast role in terms of your opportunity to develop in the club they're in now or the club in another area. And the benefit of having the same process and the same systems is that we can cross-train people to other clubs. At the moment, we have club managers, we have assistant club managers, we have supervisors, senior executives, and executives in our club. So it's quite structured in terms of the way the roles flow and the progression journey with Radisson. And anything to add on that one?
No, not really. Actually, I think you covered most of the flow that we have. I should say that we have looking at when you have the from the creation, so the awareness part and the sales part. The first initial sales part is done by our sales team, which is then called the M&E Club of Sales, together with marketing, and then this sort of the area when Jonathan and I and our team sort of evolves. And then we hand it over to the coordinators and the more operational side of the M&E department. So it's basically 3 different areas before it goes into the event at the hotel.
Wow, wow, wow. No, I'm sure there's a lot to cover just on M&E, but getting more into your experience as a whole in your career journey. So, you said you've worked in hospitality for a long time now, but how did you got into meetings and events exactly? What and why did you get into meetings and events?
Yeah, why did I start in this industry? I'm trying to ask myself. No, honestly, actually I started like maybe most young people start within the service industry as well. I started out in an ice cream shop in my hometown, and from there I decided to travel. Did a lot of traveling for a few years and worked in the industry as well. Everything from F&B to restaurants to I mean, all sorts of different places within the service industry. Came back to Stockholm, and in Stockholm, I got an extra job at Radisson, actually, within the reservations department. And from there, it sort of just traveled along, being challenged. Being able to have great leaders that have pushed me in sort of to develop in my own role as well. So I worked both in, as I mentioned, in the reservations department. I worked in operations in M&E. I worked in sales in M&E as well, project manager, and took my steps in the direction to where I am now, which has helped me a lot in the place that I am now in my role. And I think being hands-on in that role as well has sort of made my career evolve as well, making sure that I grab different things as well in order for me to move along. But within the Radisson, I've made a great journey, starting out from the reservations and to where I am in the position now. So.
Wow, wow, wow. Amazing, amazing experience. And then for Jonathan, what do you think are like some unique challenges you find specifically in M&E and in the hospitality industry itself?
Definitely. I think the main challenge in sort of meetings events at the moment is, I suppose, managing your time in terms of that. The role's quite varied in terms of you have to have quite a lot of patience, different traits. We obviously handle quite a lot of different guests and customers. So the roles are really combined, quite a variety of different traits you need for the role. So I think coming into meetings and events, it exposes you to quite a lot. It also sets your pathway to where you want to go next. At Radisson, we're quite a big portrayer of developing people into the roles they want to go into. So, for example, for myself, I started off in the kitchen. So, in terms of not with Radisson, but I went on to do some chefing, and then I moved into more the admin roles, then into revenue roles, and then to the area role that we're in now. So, the progression is quite endless. And like I said before, with having such a massive company with a lot of hotels and a lot of different areas, the opportunity to develop inside or outside your current area is vast. So I think not just in the M&E department, but it also gives teams and people opportunities to, I suppose, have careers in marketing, in sales, in revenue. We have a massive revenue team based in Madrid as our revenue club, and the opportunities to develop in different areas. So I think whilst coming into meetings and events, it gives a wider scope to different roles within Radisson and the hospitality industry as well.
Wow. No, you both have like this long experience in hospitality. I'm super inspired, honestly. And you both, what I found interesting is that you've worked in F&B as well. So do you think that people that want to get into meetings and events have to have like a background in hospitality?
Absolutely not. I think in terms of the traits that we need that we recruit for the role, definitely not hospitality background, and we're seeing more and more that we're getting different people interested from different industries. So that could be from a sales background, it could be from an event management background, and we've got quite a wide variety of different people from different roles. And again, during COVID, people have looked to change their industry, and some have come in to do what they really are passionate about, which is meetings and events. So we do see a lot of people coming from different backgrounds, and I imagine it's exactly the same for yourself.
Absolutely, definitely. I think that's also brings a lot of diversity within the teams as well, because we do have other experiences that we come into the team, and we can sort of um, explore new areas as well, and we're open for new things as well if you come with other feedback into us.
Yeah, and I think for the roles that we have, Isabella, in terms of the club, we have different people with different key strengths. So you may have some people that have a sales background that are confident in terms of that communication piece with our clients, and you may have some people from a tech background that love getting into the detail in terms of how we automate a lot of our processes, how we work on projects a lot. And I think Radisson is kind of a forefront and a front runner in terms of meetings and events, especially from a technological side. As we develop over the last couple of years, we've moved quite fast with our systems piece, with our integration piece, and then the roadmap for the future looks very bright in terms of what's coming up as well.
That's nice. It's nice to hear that you have all this team with different professional backgrounds. And now getting a bit into your experience at Radisson Hotel Group, how do you think the company has supported your growth, and specifically in meetings and events? And what kind of training or mentorship or opportunities for development have you received throughout your journey here in Radisson?
As I'm started out mentioning about my journey, I've had the fortunate to have great leaders within the company who's given me the chance to explore new areas, to move on to different things, both through mentoring, training, as we had Radisson Academy, which is our training school. So we have both online, but we also have a live version as well, where team members can be sent to explore either new areas that they would like to progress into, or either develop where they are today. I've been given those possibilities to travel to those as well, to attend. But I think also it's actually putting yourself out there as well, to say that I'm interested in this. I would like to do things like this, and that sort of is important as well, that it comes within you in order for you to grow. And sometimes that could be really scary. I've had positions that I'm not been 100% sure, is this me? Should I really should I go that way? But I've always had the mindset that I would actually explore something else to learn and to grow, and sometimes just jumped onto something that I wasn't 100% sure about, but it has given me great joy and a lot of fun as well on the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I echo that. And in terms of, I think Radisson Academy is key for people's development, and the locations for Radisson Academy Live. We've currently got a load of people going to Copenhagen at the moment this week to join Radisson Academy Live there, and then got a second session in Paris in December. So the development opportunities are massive in terms of that. I think the career journey with Radisson is as much as you make it. Over the last 10 months, we've had about 18 people move into next step roles within the meetings and events clubs. So that could be from assistant manager to manager, from supervisor to assistant manager, and then we've even had managers come into area level as well. So we try and push people as much as possible to develop in their roles.
Good. And now I'm curious, have you ever attended a Radisson Academy Live?
Yes, I have.
You have?
Absolutely.
You both have?
Yes, I have. Absolutely. A couple of times, actually.
Oh, wow. Great. Now, great to hear. So now I think we're going to move on with the audience questions, because I see many of them coming in. I don't think we will have time to cover them all, but just to go over some of them. Someone is asking, do you have any other formal education besides hospitality?
Start with me. Yes, I do. I went to university and then tourism and event management for a couple of years before I moved back to Sweden.
Yeah, and I'm probably exactly the same, and so I didn't realize we're quite similar. So yeah, I went to university in Edinburgh, so I did international hospitality management, which was 3 to 4 years, and then I was straight into industry. Prior to that, I had obviously industry experience through relatively part-time jobs, but after my course at university, it was straight into meetings and events, and I haven't looked back since.
Great, great. And then another person asks, what entry-level positions are available in meetings and events? And what's the typical career path for someone just starting out?
Yeah, good question, Isabel. So in terms of meetings, events, entry level, we have our executive roles within the meetings and events clubs, which is very much an entry level. So we have quite a few graduates joining us, quite a few interns that join us on an exec level. And as I said before, we've had quite a few execs over the last year, 2 years in terms of that development piece into the next role, into that senior role, and then into supervisory role. So I'd say in an exec role, probably between 1 to 2 years in terms of that role until they're ready for the next step. But as I said, we've had people from various different industries. From a hotel perspective, in terms of the planning piece, we do have planning executives. Again, a lot with kind of educational background in terms of from university or interns or people that just show interest within the meetings and events industry.
Could also be that they've done a specific course, for example, as well, and not gone to university, but they've done a separate course, maybe through a school that has event management or has a some kind of industry training, and then do an internship, for example, for a year out before they go back to school as well. So it doesn't have to be a university degree to come into the industry. It could be other ways as well coming into it.
Yeah, and I think the cross-training as well, Isabella, in terms of the other departments in hotels. So we've seen quite a lot of people wanting to develop into meetings and events, and how do I get into that? So the experience of people in reservations, people experience of front office, we look to those people because they're key skills, because they're dealing with people constantly, and they also have the kind of the background in terms of the reservation piece, the system piece, to move into those roles in meetings and events.
Okay, no, I think it's pretty open, right? You are kind of open into backgrounds of people, formal education they've had, so it's good. I think it's honestly great to know about this.
Absolutely, and I think the training plan and the development plans with Radisson is quite substantial. So the onboarding piece when they join the meetings and events team is quite thorough in terms of the systems piece. The tangible skills that the team need to do their job is it's lengthy and it's continuous. So we continually train the team. We do refresher sessions and things like that. And then, as we said, we've got Radisson Academy that we're constantly updating with kind of new ways of working, different takes on different tasks, and how we approach them. So it's quite a consistent training scheme that we give to the team members, whether they're new or existing.
Good. So their journey in Radisson is kind of a continual learning, and I think this kind of applies not only to M&E but to every department. It's honestly like there's something that it's the background of the person, but then you have to get here and learn many things.
And I would say that was on every level as well, Isabella. It's not just at entry level. Even for myself and Un, it's a continual learning journey, even now after 20 years. So we're continually learning new things, new systems, and as technology grows, obviously, when we develop that into the hospitality industry, we constantly learn new things and new skills.
So you need to be interested in different things, different areas, and different learnings.
Exactly. No, that's good. Like you never stop learning. That's honestly positive. No matter like how what your role is, your entry level, if you have the will to keep learning other things or kind of learning about other areas, you have the opportunity. That's great. That's great. I don't think we have time to go over all of the questions, but thank you all. Just a reminder for the audience, we have these other tabs at the left-hand side right now. You can upload still your CV. You can still connect with our recruiters. You can still visit our career website to just see all the opportunities we have available. and obviously connect to the closing ceremony, which is happening right now. And thank you all so much for connecting. And thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Anne, for your time. This has been totally amazing, and it has been even kind of informative for me. So thank you so much for your time, and see you in the next one.
Thanks,
Thank you
Isabella.
so much,
Thanks, everyone.
Okay,
Thank
been a
you.
pleasure. Take care.
Bye.